This was opened in 1925. It was only one of 2 regulation-sized courts in all of New York City. And it's funny because some people don't even notice the gymnasium. Again, you can tell these are solid. They don't make doors like that anymore. Same doors back in 1925. This is all original, obviously. So cool. Yeah.
So this is it. This is.
Famous musicians played here. Simon and Garfunkel played here twice. The Ramones, Billy Idol. World War II was going on. It was actually used as an army barracks. When they were opening out, they found a case of sea rations. The windows up top used to be able to open.
Oh, really?
So they could vent the gym. Yeah. Not just Fordham history here. There's a lot of other history.
The beautiful thing about college basketball is its diversity. There are 351 teams in Division I, and no 2 are alike. Some are stacked with future NBA All-Stars. Others are made up of aspiring accountants and engineers. Some play in front of sold-out crowds and games broadcast to millions of viewers. Others toil in obscurity before a small gathering of diehards. Every court is 94 feet long and 50 feet wide, but the buildings those courts occupy couldn't be more different. Some are enormous, modern facilities that rival the best the NBA has to offer. Others are tiny rec centers that even a high school team might thumb its nose at. A select few get to play in one of the cathedrals of college basketball, the famous arenas dripping with history like the Palestra, Cameron Indoor, Hinkle Fieldhouse, or Assembly Hall. I'm on my way to a place that should join that list of the most celebrated venues in college hoops. This is Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx. Unless you're a real college basketball sicko, you probably haven't heard of this place, and with good reason. Fordham's not really known for its basketball, but this place, Rose Hill, is one of the most special venues in all of American sports, not just college hoops. It was built in 1925, and it celebrated its 100th anniversary in January of this year. It's an amazing, amazing place, full of all kinds of history. The players, coaches, and media members who have come through this place are enough to make your jaw drop. It's a really, really special place that any sports fan should make a priority to see. And I'm gonna take you on a tour just now.
So that's where it all started. The cornerstone was laid in 1923 to build the first on-campus arena for Fordham University. And 2 years later, the Rose Hill Gym opened up.
Let's go toward the front. This is like a really iconic image, the facade of the building.
And it hasn't changed since 1925. Those are the original doors.
Wow.
Yeah, everything is the same. We couldn't figure out what font that is. It says Gymnasium.
Yeah.
And we're still looking because we'd love to copy it, obviously, to use it.
Right.
And it's funny because some people don't even notice the Gymnasium.
Right, yeah, it's kind of subtle.
Yeah.
The crests on either side, I'm just noticing, were those always blank, or is that?
Yeah,
okay.
those always been blank. And again, I don't know if that's something that they were thinking of adding to later, and they just never got around to it. Again, you can tell these are solid. They don't make doors like that anymore.
So this in here was all recently redone, right?
Yes, this has actually been redone a couple of times. The most recent one was 2 years ago with the video boards were put in. There used to be a mural on this wall, which was pretty cool, of former players, Hall of Fame, people that are in our Hall of Fame. We wanted to incorporate the Bronx more into what we're doing, so obviously to get the map of the Bronx over here. And when we switched to Nike, we wanted to make sure people knew we were a Nike school now. On the other side is the basketball film room, which was an office back when it was first built. So when it was first built, that was an office, that was still an office, and then the main offices are upstairs. Yeah.
And more of these old school heavy
These are the same doors back in 1925. Yeah. And again, this is all original, obviously.
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this part, the stands themselves, they were redone in 2017 when we had to redo the floor. It got to the point where the floor, because you have to sand it every time you refinish it, and it had gotten down. It hadn't been changed in probably 30 plus years, so it was time.
So this is it. This is
it.
It's small, but it's standing in here when it's empty, it feels so big.
And it's funny, so when they originally opened it, it was called the Prairie.
Yes.
Because they didn't have baseline stands.
Right.
and the stands on the sides were bleachers. And because of that, they could fit a lot more people in here, and people would be sitting on the floor all the way back.
Wow.
So they would have crowds of 5,000-6,000 people in here, which
incredible.
the FDNY would not let us do that today.
No.
It could get pretty crazy in here.
One of my favorite features is these windows back here, which you can see when you're sitting in the stands, and you know, it really, like we talked about the front looking like a church, the inside as well.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
this high ceiling also, it really does evoke that.
Yeah.
And for a Catholic school, I guess appropriate, right?
Yes, exactly. The windows up top
Yes, that's
used to be able to
feature.
open.
Oh, really?
So they could vent.
Sure,
the
pre-air
gym.
conditioning. Yeah.
So back then they did open, and unfortunately, what happens when you open windows in New York City? Things fly in.
yeah, pigeons.
So back in the day, they didn't have the baskets like they have now. They were the ones that came down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they had the guide wires.
Yes.
And apparently we were playing St. John's with Lou Carnesecca.
Okay.
And the place was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, people were sitting up top. They were sitting on the rails up top. They were sitting in the rafters above them.
Wow.
And the way the guide wires went up, if you were sitting up there, you could.
Oh, sure.
So every time St. John's would take a shot at their basket, our fans would pull on the guard wires. Lou was so mad that they wouldn't come back and play us for like 15 years.
Wow.
He would not come back to the Rose Hill Gym.
That's incredible. To me, like the defining characteristic of this gym is how loud it gets, because it's so small. It's built out of brick.
Yeah.
Like there's nowhere for that sound to be absorbed.
Yeah.
So what's the loudest you ever heard this gym?
Oh gosh, probably when we beat St. John's was Tom Pecora's first year.
2010. I was in the student section.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was probably that was probably the loudest. Place was packed. It was who we were playing.
Yeah.
And beating them on our court, rushing the court. That had to be one of the loudest games that I've heard here. Yeah. And like you said, I mean, there's not a bad seat in this place.
No.
Even though it's old, there's no really obstructive view seats.
Right.
Even if you're sitting in the top row, you're still 60, 70 feet from the court.
Right.
You don't see that in today's day and age. When it gets packed, it gets loud.
It especially gets loud, I think, the higher you go. Mm-hmm. I remember when they played Butler in 2013. Now, a game they lost, but a game that was wild.
Yes.
And Brad Stevens, right before he left to go to the Celtics,
Absolutely,
he was here.
Yeah.
He compared Rose Hill to the gym he played in high school back in some small town in Indiana. So I think kind of a backhanded compliment, but he was genuinely complimentary. But as you get higher up and the closer you are to those walls, the sound just reverberates.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
incredible.
When it was built, it probably was built with that in mind, because again, there were no PA systems back there. And it's actually one of the, I don't say issues we've had here, is trying to retrofit a PA system into a building that wasn't built for a PA system. Yeah. So we do the best we can. At the end of the day, it's the natural sound that you
the logo in the center with the script Fordham.
Yeah. That's something we've started using lately, is the script Fordham.
Yeah.
We renamed the court for Frank McLaughlin, the longtime athletic director, and we came up with a logo for the 100th anniversary.
So we were talking about the new logo, the new court. You get a beautiful view of it from up here.
Yeah.
That silhouetted ram, it's really fantastic. It's a nice touch.
No, it really pops on TV. It was kind of the idea. We wanted something unique. And then, of course, in front of the scores table with the Bronx.
And then this is so if there's a quote-unquote worst seat in the house, this is it. This is as high up as you go, but still, you're so incredibly close to the court.
So where we're standing is where they would set the stage up for concerts. So many famous musicians played here. The Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel played here twice. The Ramones, Billy Idol, not just Fordham history here. There's a lot of other history. Yeah, people come back and they just love coming back to this place. Yeah. It feels like home.
Exactly, yeah.
And we've done some updates, but it's still the Rose Hill Gym.